Go. Pan my audience, please. Thank you. Hi, my name is David Graham, and I quit smoking with Shantex. Not really. My name is David Graham. I'm a law enforcement instructor. Today I'm going to talk to you about the argument between traditional school and online learning. 90% of my classes have been done online. I so wish that I could have taken all my classes in an actual classroom with the professors. You might ask me why I didn't. It's probably because the same reason everybody else takes online classes. Time and location. Time, I was in the Army. I been a police officer, but I've had a full-time job since I became an adult. And the location, I'm from Washington, Oklahoma. That's where me and my family live, and we just really don't have a college in Washington, Oklahoma. So it's a lot easier to take it online. In this age of technology, education is changing rapidly. Traditional school meant that a teacher actually stood in front of you and instructed you, taught you, demonstrated for you, and actually could see your eyes to see if you were understanding or not, and then make sure that you do. There are tons of arguments why online is preferable, but the negatives are absolute. Slide number 1. If you look at the slide, online, it shows online enrollment percentage from 2002 to 2010. The main points that I'm going to discuss today is number 1, students struggle with literacy, computer literacy in the virtual classroom environment. Number 2, online courses suffer higher dropout rates. Number 3, feedback is limited or delayed. Number 4, cheating is much easier in an online learning environment. And number 5, relationships suffer as interactions are not face-to-face. Computer literacy. It is amazing to me how many young people in the computer age that do not understand how to operate the computers. Now they can tweet, they can Snapchat, play online games, but traversing through Moodle, downloading to YouTube, dropping assignments in an assignment box, or even just saving something from a flash drive seems to be problematic for the young people. FedNet states that when students lack technological skill, teachers must provide instruction in both subject and remediate the students in technology use. And that also reduces time spent on content. Ratliff, 2009. Number 2, online courses suffer higher dropout rates. I dropped out of my first 2 online classes simply because I had no clue what I was doing. I've had friends and family members also that started their college career in online courses and were unable to finish. In comparison to traditional courses, online courses suffer higher dropout rates because they are done for convenience, but they are unable to finish. Ferenczi states distant education suffers higher dropout rates, as cited in Zoo-Smith Jaggers 2011. If you look at slide number 2, dropout percentages from 2006 to 2007. Number 3, feedback is limited or delayed. The nature of freedom and time that online courses provide, feedback is limited and delayed. For questions, problems, getting your grades, or really any type of communication between you and your instructor, you are at the mercy of your professor. Mansauer discusses that interactions online are different, slower, and less meaningful, as cited in Wang, Newland, 2001. If you look at slide number 3, it shows that 38% says online classes are harder. Number 4, cheating is much easier in online learning environments. Having internet access causes learn less, Google more. I have money. I could probably pay somebody to stand up here and do this for me and nobody would be the wiser. However, if I did that, obviously I would have got somebody better. Online classes make it difficult to gauge any authentic learning. Raines, 2011. Number 5, relationships suffer as interactions are not face-to-face. There is virtually no professor-to-student relationship or student-to-student interaction. First impressions. I teach my cadets that first impressions are everything, at least 80%. If we pull up in a police car and it's nice, clean, shiny, has pretty lights, and then we get out of our car and we look sharp, our boots are shined, our brass is shined, everything looks good, they're going to assume we are a professional. They're going to think that just because of the way we look. But then we have to converse with the people, and then we have to keep that professionalism up. Those are first impressions. First impressions are 80%. However, in online classes, there are no first impressions. Over niceties in online discussion boards leave students feeling like the comments are not worth reading or listening to. Ferangi, 2017. In conclusion, I've talked about the amount of students that are not computer literate. I talked about how online has a higher dropout rate. I talked about how the feedback is limited and delayed. I talked about how cheating is easier, keeps students from learning. And number 5, which to me is probably one of the most important, there are virtually no relationships in online classes. Thank you. And the audience?